What's going on, everybody? We're back with another episode today, and I know what you're already thinking. Thank fucking God it's the original duo. No more doctor fucking expert on nothing. No more fucking, what's your favorite thing to hoop on? Oh, I love getting a swish. What a riveting episode. Anyway, I'm back. I had a little bit of a hiatus. Girlfriend graduated from Columbia. Now girlfriend's in Austria. I don't know where the fuck she's gonna be next. Put your fucking guess in the comments below. We're back with another one. What's going on, Vinny? Talk to me.
Well, how's it going? I didn't know that you were dissatisfied with last week's episode.
Oh, bro. I mean, I think the ratings speak for themselves.
Dr. Expert.
Yes. Did you know actually last week's episode was the least watched episode since the 2021 NBA Finals, like Raptors versus Warriors. Everybody hated that one, right?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
I didn't know the ratings were that bad on last week's episode.
Yeah, they were that bad apparently. It's not a big deal or anything, but
Hey, well, me and Alex had a fun time with it, regardless.
is that all that matters?
I think so. I think
Can we
so.
establish? Can we establish that that's not all that matters for our particular relationship and podcast here?
Oh, I guess I could agree with that.
We're blowing up, and that's like not going to have any conversation about that. Okay.
Yeah, just give it a little bit.
I haven't got too much patience, but yeah. Okay. So, um, fill me in. Anything new from last week?
Anything new from last week?
Mm-hmm.
Not anything really. Maybe if you guys are on Instagram and TikTok, you noticed there was no shorts last week, which might have been a shock to some.
Uh huh. What's up with
No,
that?
it's not because of the haters. They didn't deteriorate me or deter me from, posting them. I just actually wasn't able to get some out there, get off my ass, I guess.
Okay, will do. Can I say one thing that I kind of disagreed with you and our guest take last week about basketball?
Yeah.
Everybody loves a block in basketball. Can I talk about how a block maybe isn't like that great? Like,
Yeah.
because my thing about this is that like blocks are amazing because they look cool, but in reality, the best blocks have like the lowest value because typically if you're slamming some shit, it's going out of bounds and the team's getting the ball back, you know? And like I realize if we're talking like recreational, like pick up ball, yeah, I mean it's not the end of the world if you lose the game. But like technically, you'd probably be better off if you have enough time to jump up, wind back, and fucking swat something. You probably have enough time to like fucking grab it or some shit too, or at least like give yourself a chance for the board. You know what I mean? It's like I don't think it's that efficient. You know?
Yeah, I think we were just going at it because it's like a very a satisfying a satisfying thing to do.
I guess is it satisfying to lose? I should have came on there. Yeah. What's your favorite thing? Yeah, my favorite thing is winning.
Okay, well, what tier would you put blocks in? Because I don't know if I would have put it in S. I remember initially I was kind of like, I don't know, but I'll do it. He liked S.
Yeah, I mean, so what tier would I put it in?
I think I'd put it in A personally, but yeah, what would you put it in?
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like in general, I would put it like B or A. But like, I can't reach those tops. I would never put it in S because like the only way you get to S is if you swap somebody, and if you swap somebody, like I said, you're probably doing it wrong. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's
I
a good
mean,
argument. But people are gonna have to tune into last week's episode
sure.
if
I
they want
also
to.
here I won't give my thoughts on this, but I will go with what you're doing here, and I will say I disagreed with your assessment on chain nets as well. I think chain nets are kind of lit, and
Oh, you think they're even better than where we put them?
I wouldn't say better, but like even better when you put them.
I was kind of advocating for them. I thought they were gonna be an easy bottom tier, but we moved them up to C, I believe.
Yeah, I just don't think they're that bad. Like
You
I
think it's
would,
a little bit better?
yeah. I mean, I think a chain net can like kind of be a vibe sometimes,
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of saying that.
right? Like
I just
I
feel
don't
like
know.
nylon's always better.
I mean, yeah, it's a little more satisfying, but also like there's a certain like, and you know what? Yeah, there's discussion. If you want to listen to it, go check out last week's edition of the podcast. It's up, it's big, and we're having a lot of fun talking about the recap. But let's get into some new stuff. Let's talk about aluminum, bro.
Aluminum.
Go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead.
I have so much to say about aluminum.
Yeah, I
Oh
bet.
my goodness
Yeah, and for the
gracious.
fans out there who aren't in on a little inside joke here, I gave Release Side a chance before this episode aired. I said, hey, um, I am going to bring up aluminum. Make sure that you study it up, know what you're talking about, so you don't look like a doofus on the episode. And now look at him. Oh, I have so much to say. My ass. Here's the thing about aluminum, bro. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Um, I saw I saw a Twitter thread about deodorant antiperspirant, and it caught my eye. And you know why it caught my eye is because I've always been somebody who has suffered from, you know, let's call it perspirating. You know, I feel like I sweat a lot. Um, and a reason why I sweat a lot is because one, I'm not that good at regularly wearing deodorant, and I say it like it's a skill. I'm just like, I don't do it because like it's also doesn't fucking work. Like and I'm getting to it, but the reason why it doesn't work is because I'm using a lot of natural deodorant, and like I'm of the opinion that like typically you don't want to be putting harsh chemicals in your stuff on your body and whatnot. And I derive a lot of that from my upbringing and whatever. But what I come to learn from a Twitter thread is that aluminum in particular is like the chemical inside antiperspirant that causes you to not sweat. Like there's a chemical reaction with aluminum that kind of like makes all the magic happen, right? And so if you're going to if you're going to not use aluminum in your antiperspirant, you're going to have a tough time not perspirating, right? And there's also a difference between antiperspirant and deodorant. We don't need to get into all that. But basically, aluminum's important. And the reason why people were anti-aluminum is one, because of like a little bit of like an anti-chemical craze that's kind of taking over a lot of like, uh, white America. But another one is that, or no, that's actually it. Because aluminum actually isn't fucking that, like, not proven to be bad for you. Like aluminum, people are worried about it because they've been found like to have like buildup of aluminum in breast tissue, and aluminum is like loosely at best related to cancer. But there's been no correlation shown between aluminum and breast cancer. And so it's like, here's this thing, where it's not proven to have a direct cause, and it works. It's like the chemical reaction that helps your pits from not sweating. I made the choice, bro. I'm buying some aluminum fucking like seated deodorant, dude. That's what you fucking or antiperspirant. Sorry for you deodorant head, uh,
Bro, that's a
heads out
yeah,
there.
that's a
Really?
great move by you, man. Stop that sweating. I got if you guys see right here on foot, look at this. You think I got aluminum in there? You better fucking believe I got aluminum in there. Come on, bro.
Your shit stays dry.
Yeah, pretty dry. Yeah.
If you're on a hot day and you're going for a long walk
Fuck
and like,
no. You can't win there. I don't think you can win there.
okay, not like even the parts that you like heavy, applied.
I mean, my pits will probably be better than like my back on a sweaty ass day or a hot ass
Yeah,
day,
but
you
it's still
know?
sweating.
Oh, my pits are gonna sweat if I have deodorant on. If it's that
Okay,
hot. If it's that hot.
I'm gonna have to really put this antiperspirant to the stress test
Do it, bro. I remember my
because
parents used
like,
to tell me, buy what is it, antiperspirant?
uh-huh.
Buy
Oh, so they
antiperspirant.
know. So they know.
Yeah, they were telling me to do that at a young age. I said, you say less.
Was your mom like mixing aluminum in your meals when you were a kid, bro?
Well,
How do you know all
well,
this?
no, but my dad actually told me to buy antiperspirant. He was the one that put me on. So shout out to you, Dad. We're gonna read your email later as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, he knows what he's talking about, clearly. I wonder if he's looked into the relationship between aluminum and other diseases and found that there's actually not enough proof, but I'll let Mr. Really Side speak for himself on that one. Um, so yeah, that's my aluminum thing. I also have this thing on, which is new, and I don't know if you want to get into this. It's like magnets and shit. You want to get into it? We don't have to.
Sure, yeah. Let's get into
Yeah,
it.
it's magnets. Basically, like
Hmm.
you you tape magnets to the sides of your nose, right? Here, do you want to get a better look at that?
Oh, wow.
Little magnet there,
You
little
don't do that
magnet
all
there.
day, right?
Why you say it like it's a bad thing?
I don't
And
I just feel
then
like that's
here,
uncomfortable, right?
I call off the dogs. Look at this. You got four different sizes of of things you can put on, and then dude, it snaps on so easily. I mean, it doesn't snap on, but and dude, opens up your nostrils, bro. I don't think this is for everybody. I just personally have a really tough time breathing out of my nose. I need to see an ENT about it, but as you know, or I don't know, I guess I don't talk about it a lot, but I wear nose strips to bed every night, like to open up my nose because like I have a
Hmm.
really tough time breathing. If I don't wear nose strips, I'll breathe out of my mouth. It'll be uncomfortable. My mouth will be dry as shit. I'll be snoring probably. So nose strips have always kind of helped. I have never breathed out of my nose the way that I breathe out of my nose with this thing on. So shout out. I mean, they they've declined all of my emails for sponsorship. I haven't. I'm not letting them talk me down. I'm not letting them talk me down from 100% of profits, but I will shout out Intake Breathing. I don't know what the fuck their company name is, but that's this thing. I respect the fuck out of them because this shit works. It was, it is what it is. Also, I read some shit and like you can, and this is why it's not sponsored, is you can like pull out the magnets in the stickers and like just like buy some like athletic tape or whatever the fuck or like medical grade tape and just like fucking do it yourself so that you don't have to keep like buying the refill packs, which are like fucking $20 a month or some shit. I don't know. So I'm gonna see if I can buy some tape and stick their magnets in, and then just keep using their little nose bridge thing because this thing seems to work good, even though I fucked it up when I was showing you. But yeah, dude, it's big time. I mean,
So
my
what's
nose
new with you? Nose magnets
nose
and
magnets, aluminum, and I got another, bro. I feel pretty terrible about this. Can I be honest with you about something?
yeah.
I lied to you
Oh,
last week, bro. I've been watching Game of Thrones every second of my life for the last week straight, dude, and that's why I couldn't do the podcast.
that's what the real reason was?
No, it's not, but I haven't been in Game of Thrones, and I do want to ask you because it's kind of got me like thinking about. I mean, I kind of been like addicted to Game of Thrones, like not even watching it as much as just like absorbing content because there is no shortage of Game of Thrones content. Everybody, and I shouldn't say everybody, but everybody who's like really gotten into it just has so much to say, and it's such an interesting show because of how hard it fell off. Like of how I'm telling you, dude. I think the first four seasons of Game of Thrones is like peak TV. I'm talking peak. I'm talking better than maybe even Succession. I don't know. I love Succession very much, but it's amazing. And then the next two seasons are very meh, and then the last two seasons are like the worst things to ever grace television. And so it's really really funny like listening to people talk about it. And like also the fall off is directly related to when George R. R. Martin, the author of the source material, the books, stopped writing them. So they just had like nothing to. Well, he was still like involved in the show and shit. It's kind of a thing, but basically they couldn't copy his work anymore, basically, and so it fell to shit. And also the writers were like doing Star Wars or whatever. Oh, maybe you know something about that. The Game of Thrones guys had a deal with Star Wars, and like that's why a lot of people think that the last couple seasons were so shit is because they were like getting fucking hard-ons for fucking Boba Fett and shit. But yeah. So basically, it all fell to shit. And so I wanted to ask you. I know you. I don't think you've seen or watched much Game of Thrones. I recommend it, but what do you think is the worst or your personal least favorite ending to anything of all time?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question.
Sorry.
Dude, come on.
Can I go? Can I start talking about some bad endings on my part right now, and then
Yeah,
you can
I'm
think?
not even going to be really listening to you, but
That's fine. I'm just gonna talk. This is me to the audience. Please tune out. In fact, mute, deafen. So, Game of Thrones obviously terrible for the reasons I listed. I mean, you don't need to listen to me talk about why Game of Thrones is bad. There's like literally like days upon hours upon fucking weeks of content you can get to for that. Bad endings. I personally, there's this movie called Memories of Murder. It's by the same director of Parasite, who Memories of Murder is a pretty popular movie. It's very well liked. My girlfriend actually fucking loves it. I didn't like the ending, and it's not even that the ending was that bad. I just personally didn't like it because it's very inconclusive, and I really do like conclusions. And honestly, I think it's kind of the point of the movie, so it's quite the fault on my part, and I'll admit that. But I didn't personally like it, so it's getting on the list. Other bad endings. Other bad endings.
I mean, I have some low-hanging fruit ones. Like I could throw out
Okay.
a couple like Star Wars films or like Marvel films, but I feel like that's low-hanging fruit, right?
I mean, if one particular, piece in those speaks to you, I think you should have the right.
I mean, not necessarily any of them speak to me. Like they're just all not very satisfying, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's kind of tough. I'm looking through my letterbox, like my lowest rated films. You'd assume I'd have some issues with the endings. Oh, you know what, bro? Maybe this one. This is kind of a topical movie in a way, but Oppenheimer. I thought the way Oppenheimer ended was like, and a lot of people fucking love the ending of Oppenheimer, like with all the court cases and all that stuff. But dude, that literally put me to fucking sleep.
Well,
And
yeah,
I didn't really fuck with the Oppenheimer ending.
I guess I mean I can agree, but like I consider all that shit in Oppenheimer like the whole third act of the movie, you know? Like I wouldn't say it's like, oh, the very ending was bad. I think the whole third act was kind of fucking
Yeah,
great.
like I guess that's kind of too much of the movie that I'm calling
It's
it.
fair though. I do want to also I just dude I because I agree. It actually infuriates me how nobody gets annoyed with Oppenheimer's like ending part.
Oh,
Cause like I thought it was really fucking like I thought it was brutal at points.
it
Like
was snooze fest,
the
dude.
scene of it was JFK, right? That was like the young senator from Massachusetts or whatever.
Dude,
That fucking like Marvel ass quip in an otherwise like very serious movie. They decided to reduce it to that. Actually pissed me off so fucking bad. Like, oh, that young senator from Massachusetts took him down, and then like the like comedically like evil guy who just like hates Oppenheimer for fun is like, "Arr, I would have gotten away with it if not for John F. Kennedy. Who's that young guy?" And it's like,
oh,
wow, dude.
dude.
And then fucking like Einstein walks out from behind a taxi cab in a weird way.
Oh,
It got bad. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it bad. It just got kind of cheap. I felt
it
in a
wasn't it
movie
for
that
me. I did not like
no,
that.
no, I didn't either.
I don't know if that's like an
Um,
all-timer for me, but like it's one that comes to my mind looking through
uh
the
huh,
letterbox here. I
uh
mean, I'm
huh.
looking at a few here that I'm like, I don't know about the endings on these ones. Did you see and are these the Jordan Peele movies? Yeah, Nope and Us. A lot of people like the ending of Us, but the
Haven't seen
ending of
them.
both of those, I'm just kind of like, oh, kind of like a lot going on. You like got
Yeah,
to read in between the lines and stuff, which like it's kind of a fault on me in a way. I'm kind of like, I'm not like up for the task of like deciphering what's going on, but it's kind of like crazy and up for interpretation. So like,
sure.
I don't know.
Those, I don't know. Those kind of endings, the open enders, can get frustrating for me too, because it's like I don't know. I think you have to walk a very fine line of like obviously I shouldn't say every movie that makes their fucking viewer think a little bit at the end is not good, but like I just think you have to do that in a way that like makes sense and like feels satisfying as well, and not just like you figure it out kind of thing, right? Like I don't know.
Uh-huh. Like looking up articles to the ending explained, and it's all still just
uh
like different article to article. Like it is, you know.
I never feel like more of a fucking beta cuck than when I have to Google fucking blankety blank ending explained. Oh my god, dude, that's like
That's
that.
not a good feeling.
Yeah, I gotta turn in my like macho card when I do that, bro. That's not right. But I mean, sometimes you have to. I mean, sometimes you just want to read a little bit more about what's going on. Like kind of what I'm doing with Game of Thrones. Like I don't need a fucking explanation. I just love hearing people like talk about it. And like, there's. I mean, people do love to dunk on others who have to like or have to look things up. But like nobody catches every small thing. It's like it's fun to like have somebody to like watch somebody else who's taken the time to dissect these things to give it to you in a digestible way. That's cool. That's fun. It's a really fun way to interact with like a story in a world you love a second time.
Oh
And
yeah.
fuck people who fucking make it a thing for whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Um, dude, can I pitch something to you that you reminded me of? Sorry, I'm getting off the topic. Do you want to add any more to this?
Oh no, you can switch the
Okay.
topic.
And I'm sorry because I know we had a discussion beforehand about how we need to get to emails and how we shouldn't
Uh-huh.
ramble on too much, but this is the last thing I promise because I had this idea. I saw I saw a joke tweet um, that was like letterboxed, but like for food or like meals you have, like, oh,
Um,
just had this like fucking like spaghetti, so fire, 5 stars. And like, okay, here's the thing. I understand how stupid that is because of like Yelp and things like that existing. But I think if you had a letterboxed-esque platform and like, you know, uh I just okay, back up. I don't think Yelp is serving the community as much as it like used to because of how fucking like sponsored it is and how like I don't know. I have this perception of my own perception that like Yelp is not gonna like tell me what the good spots are. Am I
nah.
crazy?
Nah,
Okay,
dude, well, I've worked at a lot of restaurants and like I know that like you'll do fake reviews and stuff.
that's fucked up.
So, I mean, you can't always trust it.
I think if you got like a letterboxed esque community who reviewed specific dishes at specific places, you could really start to like get some shit going with that and like really help out, especially in a place like New York, where like a lot of people could recognize the restaurants and things like that. That can be kind of fun. I don't know. It would require a lot of community effort though, and that's kind of hard to create. But I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is that the dining industry is lacking a reputable like review source, and there's always a new one. It's always like, oh, like I found this on blah blah blah, and it's like, what the fuck is that? Like, why do I have to download 6 different apps to figure out like where the fuck is like good food? I don't know. Anyway,
Somebody's gonna steal your idea. You need to
I don't
trademark it.
I don't think it's very good. I think I've had better, but something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Throw something out there.
We'll think about it for next podcast. Leave it in the comments below what your idea is so we can steal it first.
Yeah, we'll steal your guys' idea.
Yeah.
Um, well, do you want to do the emails now? We have a lot. We've been putting these on the back burner, unfortunately, for our
Yes.
listeners. So some of these
Yes.
are getting like outdated by the second, you know?
Uh-huh.
So shall we get into some?
Let's do it, bro.
All right, well, let's start off with Matt. Nobody else but Matt. Um, so he had some Bucks off-season questions.
Okay.
First up, do you think Doc deserves to keep his job after a disappointing second half of the season and first round playoff exit?
One, fuck no. Two, I also want to give a quick shout out to Matt because we've been, like you said, putting him on the back burner for a long time, and Matt is fucking cool, and Matt deserves our praise. So I'm gonna give a quick clap to Matt. I appreciate him, and yeah, he's a real one. But yeah, no, fuck Doc Rivers. Hiring Doc Rivers makes no fucking sense. He never made sense in the first place. I mean, I guess they wanted to bring in like an adult into the room because it felt like some people were annoyed with AJ Griffin was his name, right? The previous coach,
Adrian.
Adrian Griffin.
Yeah.
Got it. Sorry. Like it sounded like some players didn't like his defensive system, whatever the fuck. Like I guess you wanted to bring somebody else in, but like why Doc Rivers, bro? Like I don't know. I don't think he's put out like he doesn't have the fucking success, dude. Like at all. Like he's a fine regular season coach, and I have no doubt that like if he does return, like they'll be a successful regular season team. But like, shit, bro. Like I saw a funny tweet about Doc Rivers. It's like it doesn't matter if they're playing sixth graders. Doc Rivers will have your team in a dogfight in the playoffs, and it's funny because like they got smoked when they had Dame, and then the one game where they didn't have Dame whatsoever, they fucking won like handily against Indy. So I don't know. It's just he's not a coach that goes far in the playoffs. I've heard some analysis. I don't know how true it is about like he's really good at coaching his teams up in the regular season to like be better in transition defense and not allow easy buckets and things like that. But that kind of defensive improvement doesn't translate directly to the playoffs because like transition defense is better all around. Like it's teams tighten it up quite a bit, and so he doesn't have that kind of like advantage, I suppose. Where like because that would have happened regardless, probably because it's playoff basketball. It's a little different. So I don't know. I'm not a Doc Rivers guy, I guess. What about you?
Yeah, no, I've famously hated this guy. I mean, I've said it on the podcast before, but I mean, do I think he deserves to keep his job? Like, absolutely not. Like, to answer your question, but he's definitely going to be the coach because,
You think?
well, I think like it's just like that's like kind of admitting like your shit's a dumpster fire because you fire a coach who was like 33 and like 15 for
Yeah.
Doc. You do kind of shitty. You flame out in the first round. Yes, there's injuries and stuff, but like all of his antics and like interviews and stuff, he never says the right shit. Like he said,
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish this job on my worst enemy. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck are you actually talking about? But so I don't think he deserves to be a coach,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's tough too because like I really do think teams should do more shit like that. Like be willing to fire a coach even when they're doing well because like sometimes you could be doing better and like it's just unfortunate because like they fucked up the hire so bad
Yes,
that it's
dude.
probably going to incentivize teams to like never do shit like that again. Because it's like oh you don't want to pull a fucking Milwaukee. But like in general, like yeah, dude, like they were winning, but like maybe AJ Griffin did have shit defensive systems. I don't really know. I don't understand basketball to that level, but like some football examples I can think of where like coaches were doing well because of their team was really fucking good but didn't deserve it. I think of like early like Bengals Zach Taylor. I thought Zach Taylor was a fucking moron, but he's kind of figured it out low key. and but they were winning when he was bad, and like that's fine and everything. But I don't know. I guess maybe him being better is a sign that like you shouldn't fire these guys in the first place if they're winning, because like it's a good thing and maybe they'll improve. I don't know. I just think that like teams should be willing to take more risks. Teams are way too risk averse in my opinion, but you have to make sure obviously you don't fucking hire somebody worse, like, or else fuck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
so yeah.
definitely think that they just fucked up the hire. Like the Bucks were definitely underachieving considering like the talent and everything. So like I don't think it's that bad of a move to let go of your coach, but I mean putting Doc Rivers in there was just such a fuck up.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Matt's next question. Do you think Dame should want out of Milwaukee after the season? A couple Bucks questions.
Um, I don't know. I mean, just in terms of like a pure basketball sense, I don't think so. I mean, you still get to play with Giannis. You still got, you've got pieces there to make something happen. I mean, the ironic thing is he's the one making it difficult with his contract, but like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know how it's going to get any better. He's like by far, well, not by far, obviously, but like he's the guard who's going to be holding the ball. It's what he wants. He's got help. Doesn't have to do it all himself, but he'll still like be able to if he needs to. Which there was plenty of games this year where like they allowed Dame to take over and he did, but like also at the same time like he has nobody to blame in certain instances like in the last game of the regular season against Orlando, where I forget the exact stakes, but they really needed to win that game. And Giannis was out, and it was basically like, okay, Dame, like, go get us a win. And he fucking played like shit. So, no, I don't think he should want out. I don't know where he's going
Yeah.
to get a better situation. It's like he has a very good situation. And I don't know. I don't see how it can get much better for him.
No,
Unless he wants.
you're exactly right. You're hitting the nail right on the head with that. Like why? I mean, he kind of forced his way out of Portland. He's playing with like the best player he's ever had like as a
Yeah.
teammate. Like the Bucks just got fucked by injuries. Like there's really no good reason to want out unless he like fucking hates the city. But
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
really.
yeah. I mean, that's why I said
Maybe
doing
you
that
want out of
makes sense.
Milwaukee for that reason.
I mean, if I was in Milwaukee, shit. We shouldn't say this much because I don't want Doc's our guest here, but he's familiar with the Milwaukee area a bit.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, according to his next questions here, he has some roots though back on the East
Oh yeah.
Coast.
Oh, he's a Virginia boy. I'm pretty
Let's
sure.
go
Yeah.
through this next one.
Yeah.
Because we're running out of time on this session, but I think we could do this next question here. He
Okay.
had, and he said subject to air date, but might as well just talk about this anyways. But at the time,
Mm.
he didn't know who the Commanders were going to take at number two. Oh, but
Yeah.
then he also put in here slash what is our reaction to them taking, and was it Jaden Daniels?
Yeah.
Um, honestly, Matt, I'm going to flame on this one. I haven't even seen a throw from Jaden Daniels. I'm not the football guy here, but I hope the Birds beat the Commanders. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know college quarterback talent better than the people who are drafting them, right? Like, yeah, like people are wrong. People who do this for a fucking profession are wrong all the time. I have no idea how to evaluate talent. What I do know how to evaluate is like age and windows of teams. They drafted Jaden Daniels, who is 2 years older than Drake May, which was like is it May or fucking Daniels, and I guess even JJ McCarthy if you're on that kind of shit. But it ended up being Daniels, who's a 23-year-old, which is young but old for a quarterback prospect. They also subsequently signed Austin Eckler, Bobby Wagner, amongst I think another veteran or two. So they basically said we're going to take the older guy who hypothetically should be more pro ready and surround him with some talent. And I guess the plan is like be respectable this year. And I just got to say, like from a process standpoint, I think they just don't get it. This team sucks. This team is terrible. You did not need to add in an older quarterback. You did not need to add in Austin Eckler, 29-year-old Austin Eckler, 33-year-old fucking Bobby Wagner. This isn't a team ready to add talent and go. I mean, aside from what you think about Eckler and Wagner, I think they are both over the hill and not good players and fucking I think they're terrible signings independently. I think Daniels is the wrong pick independently. But when you put all these things together, where is the window? Is the window next year? Is this Commanders team going to win next year? Fuck no. So what's the point? I don't get it. All you're doing is fucking like wasting money. potentially making your draft pick worse if these guys can, hang together and get you an extra win or two and get to what 7 wins on the season if you're lucky. This roster is shit. I like it's me personally. I think what a savvy thing would have done what to do is draft Drake May. He's 21. You have time. Blow it the fuck up and rebuild around him. You've got time to do so. And forcing Daniels in a situation where it's like, okay, like we got some guys for you. I don't get it. I just don't
Yeah,
get it. And to be
yikes.
fair, I mean, you have weapons there when you have Eckler. You have McLaurin, Dotson. I mean, they've got some pieces for sure. But expecting a rookie quarterback to step into that and do anything with it is just not sustainable. I mean, CJ Stroud's year last year was not the norm. We need to all remind ourselves of that was a freak, um, flash in the pan thing. It's not going to happen again. If you're like the Bears drafting Caleb Williams, you are praying to seven heavens that you get CJ Stroud here. You're probably not going to, and that's fine. But like they need that kind of production on Jaden Daniels, considering the moves they're making around him, and it just doesn't make any sense. And I mean, like I said, I'm not a talent evaluator, but I know people weren't exactly thrilled about him. So I don't know. We'll see. I could be out for lunch, but I just think if you're viewing this from like a very macro, like not just 1 year, but like years long perspective, this is just going to set you back. I mean, what's the plan in a couple of years once you have to turn over this roster again? Then you got Jaden Daniels upcoming on a second contract, and you have to figure out how to what to do because do you sign him again? I don't know. Your team is fucking ass. Like, and you probably have a hard time evaluating him because he's surrounded by shit. So I don't know. I just think it's poor planning. I think the new ownership, better than Snyder, still doesn't get it. So yeah.
Dude, I don't think Matt's gonna like to hear that evaluation of the
He's
Commanders.
not going to like to hear it, but he needs to. And also, I think he'll probably agree, but we'll see.
All right, well, we got a Wizards question here.
Okay.
Let's bang this out, and then we'll see you guys in the next session. But what NBA player has the best career as a member of the Wizards post name change? So no unsold, and don't say MJ because that would be fucked up anyways. I wouldn't dare say MJ.
I might need you to do this one for me too, because I mean, I would say like John Wall, but I don't
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this one.
know.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, I'm sure you have mixed feelings about John Wall. I'm sure you're happy about the years he gave you because they were electric when he was like kind of like the best point guard in the league, basically. I guess you could also throw in Bradley Beal. I feel like he also is like right up there with John, maybe more so, because they haven't won. So I don't know who you'd really pick as like. There's no like champ that like is like oh the best Wizards player. I mean, Wall is the coolest, easily. Like he is so dope. Um, he was one of my favorite players ever. So I don't know, maybe Marcin Gortat,
Oh, I know him.
bald guy.
The Gortat screen. I've
The
learned
Gor.
that one.
Oh my gosh, LeBron and JJ Redick talking about the Gortat screen.
Yeah.
Nah, but I don't know. I'd say John Wall as well. I mean, it's probably a cop out, but he is electric as fuck and like one of my favorite players. And yeah, he probably gave
Was
the Wizards some fun years, right?
I mean, shit. I don't really know. This is before my time. Was John Wall was like he was a playmaker, right? He wasn't like a pure scorer.
Yeah, he could make passes, but he could score as well. But also something that was sick about John Wall is he was a great defender.
Oh yeah.
He was like
Is
a
there
do-it-all guard, really.
is there like a current NBA comp to like peak John Wall?
I'd say he's a little bit similar to like a little bit similar to like Ja offensively, but like obviously Ja defensively is not shit. And his defense wasn't fucking like insane or anything. Just like think of like a decent defensive guard. Nothing bad.
Ja
Like
offense with pretty good D is fucking amazing.
no, dude, he was like for real, like close to the best point guard in the league. Like I don't know what year it was, but he was really healthy. He's a few years in the league. He was so good. Like tons of assists, like good defense, good scoring. His weakness was kind of like threes. That's why I said Ja, because Ja's not like electric from three or
Uh,
anything.
I see.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are gonna move away from Matt's question. Thanks again for sending that in, Matt. We really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in to the Flame side. Much love forever. Next up is gonna be my dad's questions that he sent us in. So Yes. What are two stories together as friends that stand out in your minds?
Oh my
One hockey and one high school.
god.
So this is a great question here.
Oh no, dude.
For hockey, honestly, bro, it's hard not to say going undefeated, bro. We went undefeated. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
that's not the one I was gonna think of.
Oh, you had something else in mind?
Are you gonna just act like we don't know like what we're both thinking right now?
Um,
When I
like playing Overwatch?
when I fucking decked you in practice.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's obviously the best moment, right?
I gotta tell this from my perspective.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we do in practice in hockey practice. You'll do like some one-on-one drills every here and there. So it'll be like like fucking forwards pass around to each other, and then like they'll come into the zone like one-on-one against the defenseman and like get a shot off on the goalie. And so a lot of times, we're in practice. We're also in high school practice, and like high school for hockey is like a lot less serious than club. So like I'm playing defense. Vince is playing forward. Whenever I'm doing this against any of the forwards, usually, especially Vince, because he's my friend, give them a little bump, give them a little shoulder. They're usually ready for it. They don't got their heads down, nothing like that. But like, I'm not trying to kill anybody out there, but like, it's kind of funny to give somebody, a little bit of a stiff one. So this one practice, I think you might have gotten there late or something, but I didn't get a chance to like, really talk to you too much. And so you're coming in on me, and I think the puck might have gotten kind of like caught in your skates or something. You might have been looking down for it, and they came up and I kind of gave you one. And I don't remember if it made you fall or not, but it definitely like staggered you a bit, and you're like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then come to find out, and you can explain this further, but like you were feeling sick that day, and it wasn't the right time for you. But
Oh, yeah, dude. I just remember pulling up to that practice, like, yeah, and you're right, dude. I was late. I showed up late. I'm not feeling good. I forgot what was going on exactly. It was so long ago at this point. But yeah, and you did put me to the ground on that one, dude. I got sick. I just was so not ready for a hit. Like my body was so not into it that night. Oh my gosh. Damn, that is a good one. That is
yeah,
such a good one.
I think
Fuck.
yeah, I mean there's that. We did go undefeated though in our regular season, which is cool, but it's kind of like a weird flex because I just the league we were playing in, like one for you and I especially, we played a lot of club, and this isn't to toot our own horns. Neither of us are fucking NHL players or anything, but like we were playing JV high school, which was like a kind of a decent step down from where you and I both played before that. And then also our JV team in general was had kids that were probably better than the level, and also we're playing at a level like a lower level in JV. So it was like, or I think we
Yeah, the
were anyway,
JV.
we just like we were our whole team, especially some kids, just shouldn't have been on like in that league, and like we won most games like 8-0. It was like not very fun, honestly. But
Yeah, I always skip the details of the
yeah,
undefeated season.
it's a little more pathetic when you explain that we're playing JV high school against like probably a bunch of people who like just started playing hockey.
And with a bunch of like ex-club players on a team.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
But
wasn't good for everybody else.
we did, and my story for hockey is that I laid Vince out in practice.
Yeah, that is an excellent one. That is truly an excellent moment. That's got to be it. Okay, how about one from high school?
That's a little trickier. I don't know if we had a lot of classes together.
No, I don't really remember classes together. One moment that comes to my mind that was so funny from high school with you was when we would park at your house before school sometimes and walk there.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I left my phone in my car, and then we were walking back from school later, and my mom thought I ditched class, so she was like sitting on the street and she was
No
like
way.
yelling at you guys. Wasn't she yelling at you, or maybe you
I
weren't
don't
even there?
remember that. I don't
Oh,
think I
well
was
then
there.
damn. Well then that's a horrible one to bring up.
But that's funny. Wait, can you tell that story?
Yeah, she just thought that I dipped school because my phone location said that I was at your house all day, but I was actually at school, and I was ditching school at the time. It wasn't like my mom's fucking crazy or anything, but she was just there, and I remember she was yelling at I think like Nick or something like, "Where's Vincent? Where's Vincent?" And
Uh-huh.
they're like, "I think school," and then like I just like come walking down your street. I'm like,
Oh
"What the
my god.
hell, mom?" But
Yeah. It's funny you say that. Like, she had a good reason to check because I think I remember you telling that story and like talking about how you gave her some attitude for like for thinking you ditched. I don't know. That story is funny.
Or what about the story when we actually did have a class together, AP, what was it, AP Hug?
Hug, human geography. Yeah,
And we got kind of caught for cheating that one time.
that
And
was
then
so funny.
they put us all into a room and like recorded us and we had a conversation. Do you
I
remember
wasn't
that?
in that. I wasn't in that room.
Oh yeah,
I
because you
got.
didn't get caught.
I got privilege. Well, no one really got caught. I mean, you got the most caught, but like
Oh
they just
yeah.
rounded up the kids that they knew were troublemakers and put them in a room. But yeah,
Oh,
we're all
another moment where you're not quite involved.
yeah. Well, we had a test, and well, I was involved for the reason why, but we had a sub, and the sub I don't know how to put it. They just didn't really seem to really care or know kind of what was going on. But like everybody had their Chromebooks open. Our school had Chromebooks, and like, um, and we're all like kind of giggling because everyone knows that everybody else is looking up the answers, but it's a silent room for the most part. And then you hear Vince's Chromebook audibly out loud play like a Quizlet of like the answers to the test or something, and everyone started dying. It was so funny.
Oh, that was
And
so embarrassing,
and still, the
dude.
sub did nothing. The sub was like, "What was that?" And we're all like, "What?"
Well, because no, so the thing was we actually were able to use our phones during this test because we were supposed to like time
Oh no!
ourselves. We
Yeah,
were
it was
supposed
our
to like,
phones.
oh, time yourself, set a timer for 30 minutes, and then after the 30 minutes, switch to the other part of the test or whatever. And so yeah, I'm looking up shit the whole time. And so she thought it was an alarm that went off when I accidentally clicked the
I
Quizlet.
see. I see.
She was like, turn your alarms off. I think she was just too old to be bothered by any of that shit.
Fair enough, honestly.
I remember her name, but I probably shouldn't drop her name, right?
Yeah, no docs, no docs. I was the other thing that I thought to bring up was when you had that one, I think sophomore English teacher that was like very concerned for like your behavior, and not like behavior, but like they
No,
were
she
just
was.
she had a lot of like thoughts about you constantly, and I remember her like talking to me about you. And I would always be like, I don't really know. Like, you might have to talk to Vince about this.
Oh, dude.
I don't know. I mean, she bless her heart. It was in the right place. She wanted you to like be well and everything, but like, I don't know if I would have appreciated somebody talking to my friends about like what's he like, you know?
Oh,
I
she
mean,
was awfully concerned for me.
which I guess
Awfully,
is
awfully
nice, but like,
concerned. Oh, yep, I remember her as well. I'm not going to drop her name, certainly
no
not their
docs, no
name,
docs.
but she was a good teacher.
She was extremely nice. I liked her.
I remember her fondly.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Um,
that's enough for that. That's enough for that.
sure. We were in the same gym class too, but I don't really have any stories from that. So, oh well.
No, I have one, but I don't want to share it.
Okay.
Um, sorry, guys. If you are curious, just text me. I'll tell you the story. I'm not proud of it, but all right, tell my dad why the Knicks are good. Yes, Brunson. Yes, they work hard, but really? That's his question.
That's funny.
And to my dad sent this while the Knicks were still playing. Like this is pretty freshly after eliminating the Sixers, I believe.
Uh-huh.
So the Knicks have been since eliminated, mostly due to injuries, I'd say.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, I think the Knicks are just a good team, like because of yes, what you said, Brunson, and they work hard. And maybe you're not buying it. It's kind of hard to buy into like Josh Hart's ascendant or like and DiVincenzo's kind of making a career for himself, like because those guys
Mhm.
were pretty like perennial like role players in the league for a majority of their careers up until this year. So I could see why it's like like how,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man. They got the formula. They're similar to the Flyers, in my opinion. Like I think Torts is like a similar coach to Tibbs, and I think like he gets this like the most out of his team. You know?
That makes sense to me. Yeah. He also has like that like cycle of like Thibodeau slash Tortorella teams where like they overperform because like they get players to buy in and then over time it wears off, you know? And
Yes,
guys get
exactly.
sick of like the fucking, all just hustle and win kind of shit. I mean, I don't know if that's what Tibbs is saying, but like I know he's bounced around a bit. It seems like that's it. He also has weirdly dealt with a lot of weird, freaky injuries, and his teams because he had the D Rose Bulls, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that like. Eh, I do think they probably win that Indy series with a healthy team, but like this is the NBA playoffs. You're not going to have a fully healthy team. Nobody really does. So,
No, I mean the
um,
Pacers aren't fully healthy. It's like,
no, yeah,
teams are not going to be fully healthy, but and I'm really just talking about Benedict Mathurin. Like I can't think of anybody else who's hurt, so maybe it
yeah.
doesn't mean that much, but like still,
They are more healthy than the Knicks, and I do think the Knicks with like OG being healthy would have won. But that's the things. I do think the Knicks are a really good team, and I think that they have more talent than like it shows because people do have the perception that like they're the hard-nosed defense team, and that's why. I do think. I mean, Brunson's legit as fuck. I think OG is very very good. Um, and like you said, I mean, guys like DiVincenzo, Hart, McBride played well for a bit. It's like no, they're probably not like extremely talented players who would be playing this well elsewhere. It is maybe a product of the system a bit, but like these are solid players,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, I even think I think Hartenstein is also very good, and this that fivesome of Brunson, Hartenstein, Hart, and DiVincenzo, and then OG. I don't know. I'm not going to through this right now, but their healthy five had like some of the best possession metrics, the best shooting metrics of like any 5 man rotation throughout the regular season. So they were legit. They were legit very very good. So yeah, I think a little bit unlucky with injuries. Plus maybe a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of regression got them caught up too. And also, I mean, my opinion, there's no way they're making it past Philly with a healthy Embiid. So, you know,
Yeah.
they're good. They're good for sure. They're not a pretending team. They have legit talent. It's just
Yeah, they're going to be annoying for a few years, so
yeah.
that sucks.
I'm not sure. They'll probably have to add something if they're going to really contend, especially with like this current iteration of the Celtics. So
Yeah, definitely. But the Knicks are run well, so they'll be fine.
yeah, yeah, I do think that it's I didn't love the OG trade at first. I'm kind of an Emmanuel Quickly guy, but oh wait, am I thinking of the wrong person? No,
No,
it's
he was in
Quickly.
that trade.
But
Are you
it was
thinking of
Quickly
RJ
RJ.
Barrett?
No, no, I'm a Quickly guy. That's what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought it got confusing for a sec. No, yeah. So yeah, no, but I do think it does serve them in retrospect, especially with how well OG played. So I can get behind the Knicks kind of having some good direction.
All right. Well, my dad's last question is best brews. Flame, any local brews in NYC you like, or any friends that you know or that have a favorite beer or something like that? And
I'm
he
really
said, "Love you,
bad.
boys. Keep it up."
Love you too, Cujo. I'm really bad at remembering names. We have this fun brewery here that we walked in. Me and Allison's old roommate. We were gonna buy a few beers because like it's more of like a fancy place. We want some fun shit. He likes IPAs and whatnot. I'm not a huge IPA guy myself, but I can still drink one. And there's these guys there. They're like, "Hey, we're doing samples. Like, we got free beer." We're like, "Okay." There's these guys from Rochester, New York, which is a little bit away. I actually have no idea where the fuck Rochester is, if I'm being honest. So scratch that. He's from Rochester though. But and he was just giving us this stuff. He eventually gave us this one beer that like he called it like his baby. Like they brewed it in a certain way to where it was like an IPA, but it was also a sour or whatever the fuck. It was really good. It was really fucking good. I have their brand in my fridge right now. I can tell you. Should I grab it?
Yeah, dude,
All right.
give me the brewery for my dad so he gets
All right.
happy.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
While he's gone best brews, I mean, around here, I don't often go for, the more craft beers, as you know, Dad. I'm mostly like a piss beer, I guess you could say, like some Coors, some Millers, stuff like that. I wouldn't say those are my favorite beers, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe my favorite beer is like Krombacher, if any of you guys know that one, or maybe. Oh, you know what actually is my favorite is New Glarus. You're actually a Wisconsinite, Shane. Is New Glarus Brewery, Spotted Cow. I'm all
Spotted
about it.
cow. Yeah,
I'm
people love
all
spotted cow.
about Spotted Cow. Wisconsin exclusive.
Yeah. Ugh.
I'm all about it, bro. I'm all
I,
about it.
I never really understood the spotted cow craze. It kind of just tasted like a regular fucking cheap beer to
Dude, it kind of, yeah, I mean, it really is, but it's good.
me. Yeah, I mean it's not bad. I saw most of all I saw Wisconsinites drinking hams, which is funny. But you never seen hams?
No, I don't know that one.
It's the cheapest beer you can possibly find anywhere. Anyway, so this is Finback. My camera's gonna fuck it up a little bit. It's Finback. These actually aren't. This is a different kind. I think this is just a sour. But yeah, they have like an IPA slash sour, and they really hyped it up, and it was very good. So Finback Brewery, based out of Rochester, New York. They were very kind in person. They gave us free like they give us they're giving us samples of their beers, and like the sampler glass they were giving us was like twice the size of a regular shot glass, and it's like I know it's beer, but I don't need a fucking like I should know my measurements, but I don't need that much beer to taste it. So I'm just like slamming these like fucking like two shots of beer back and forth. I'm just like all of a sudden sitting there like kind of fucking like buzzed as all hell. I'm like, yeah, I'll take this one. Thank you very much, sir. So yeah, they're cool though. I like them. They're nice guys and they got good beer. So Rochester, New York, Finback.
All right. Well, there you go, Dad. Maybe we'll check that out this weekend when we're down there. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, if they yeah, honestly, they might still be in that at that place. So we'll get around.
But so our last email of the day comes from Sam, one of our good friends of the show. I almost said his last name. That's why I said Sam weird. I refrain there. I don't want to have to bleep out every episode, you know?
Uh-huh.
But so Sam's email reads, Love the pod, boys. Keep up the work. My first question is, besides your own, what's your favorite podcast? So that's a very fun question.
Mm.
Where would you go with that?
Oh, don't put it on me.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah,
Because I have a
please.
lot of podcasts that I listen to, and a lot of them are like kind of direct inspiration for why we're here right now.
I
So,
gotta check my phone real quick. You go ahead.
one I would love to shout out is Numbers on the Board podcast. They're primarily a basketball podcast, but I've been listening to them for a very long time. I absolutely love those boys. Another podcast I love is the Coping Hour. That's a great podcast. Check that one out. What else do I like? I like some Flyers podcasts and stuff like that. PHLY Flyers. I love that. Some stuff like that. The Yard. That's a great one to shout out. Ludwig's podcast. If you know Ludwig, his podcast is fire. And those four I'll shout out. I'll keep it to that.
Okay. Um, I have one podcast. It's called Joy Tactics that I saw live. It's a comedy podcast. It's got a couple of guys who are writers for The Bear on it. They also have a lot of guests, a lot of comedians that are kind of in the New York area. Sometimes I went to the live taping and they had Sarah Sherman there. She does some SNL stuff. They also had Connor O'Malley, who's a freak. Um, yeah, so
Troy
they're
Tactics is
funny.
amazing.
Yeah, they're very funny. They do a lot of stuff in Brooklyn, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they're doing something live while we were here, or you were here. But anyway, so I like them a lot for comedy, something to listen to whenever. And then I also have a sports betting podcast called The Deep Dive that I like quite a bit. I like the guys that do it. They're nice guys. They're down to earth guys. I think the sports betting industry is very weird. It's a lot of weird people, and it's nice to have some guys who are just kind of like down to earth. I don't know. It's sort of like it's sort of like chess almost. I want to say where like the higher up in chess you go, the weirder the people are because like you're just like you're doing this for a living and like your livelihood depends on you winning something, right? The same way like so you have to win a chess match or you have to like win sports bets and like when you constantly are winning and like telling yourself that you are the shit, you win, you're the best. Other people are like, wow, you win. I think it starts to make people fucking like weirdly egotistical and strange and not down to earth. So like it's nice to have some
Definitely.
guys who are down to earth and chill. That's a huge problem in the chess industry. I that's a whole other conversation, but that really fucking annoyed me for a bit when chess kind of popped off and like streamers are doing tournaments and shit. I remember there was a huge backlash with like elite chess players who were like, this is an abomination. Like they don't
Oh
even know how to
yeah.
play. It's like fucking relax, dude. Like you don't own the game of chess because you've played it for a while and are good at it. Like fuck off, dude. Like that's really annoying, especially because like anybody who's a pro chess player does not have any kind of fucking air whatsoever to talk shit, chat shit about chess because of how fucking embarrassing it is. Like about how Magnus Carlsen, like he literally doesn't even play in the world championships anymore because he knows he'll win so easily. So like the current world champion is like some random guy, but it's like everybody knows it's Magnus, and he's just like, oh, I don't care enough to play because it's not like it's a waste of my time. So if you're a chess professional and somebody who is that much better than you, who doesn't even think that you're worth their fucking time exists, then shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
Oh
up.
my gosh.
Like Get it, like fucking gatekeep something else, you fucking loser. It
That's
pisses me off.
vicious.
It's but like, is that not true? Like, you don't get to gatekeep something unless you are like the thing. Like, if Magnus Carlsen said like this isn't how I want chess to be represented, I wouldn't agree, but like I'd respect it. You know, I don't need some fucking random grandmaster who would get his shit cooked at any kind of regular tournament to fucking go on there and start talking about who can and who can't like represent chess. Go fuck yourself. You
Yeah.
know, go compete with Magnus, and then you can have the floor for a bit. You know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, worry about yourself, bro. That's my final statement on that. Worry about yourself. Anyway, yeah, deep dive, good podcast.
All right. Sam's second question is my or related to your recent TikTok drama, how do you feel that the United States is planning on banning TikTok unless they are backed by a non-Chinese company?
Uh,
Do you have thoughts on this?
I don't know.
I would be super sad if TikTok got banned, but like has nothing to do with the drama we've been getting ourselves into lately, more so just because I feel like, no, I can't scroll TikTok for a few hours.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm pretty Instagram Reels pilled anyway, so it wouldn't really bother me or affect me too much. I mean, I've never been big into TikTok. I think it'd be dumb as fuck if we banned it for being a Chinese corporation. Like, I sincerely believe, without doing any research, that like the people who are like, oh, they're, subconsciously like brainwashing everybody to be fucking communists and shit. I think that's fucking stupid. I think that's like, I don't personally believe in that, I suppose. And then yeah, and even if they are trying to like relax, bro. Since when has the freedom of information been a bad thing? So my thoughts on that are relax. It ain't that serious. It's a fucking short form video content platform where people are shaking ass and like doing funny videos.
like the
So
Flameside podcast is on there, you
yeah, and like drumming
know?
up some controversy and like pumping our numbers.
Like,
So like relax. We need to get big first. You can cancel TikTok once we're fucking massive, please.
yeah, for real. Don't ban it now,
Yeah,
please.
we're just starting to drum up all the attention.
All right, well that'll be enough for the emails this week. We have one for next week that we'll get to for sure. You know who you are if you're listening. Um, let's do Himothy of the week real quick. Let's just end the
Okay.
week with that. Let's go over last week's winner, which it was you actually
Yes.
versus water bottles.
Oh, I thought you were saying I won.
No, you can celebrate. You actually did end up winning. What
Yes.
is this? 75 to 25, 4 votes. So 3 votes to
Oh,
one.
can we see the splits
I
on
actually
that?
can't see who voted for water bottles, but maybe it
Fuckers.
was Alex because he picked it.
We're gonna. That's
The
that's
water
the
bottles
last.
received a vote.
That's his last fucking guest appearance on this podcast. I can tell you that much.
All right. Well, do you have one for this week?
I do.
Okay.
I have a
Hit me.
weird one. So I have to tell a story around this. There's a new bagel shop close to my place, and in the window they proudly have the message stated, "No bagel sandwiches, just bagels." And my Himothy of the week has got to go out to bagel sandwiches. Since when is it a bad thing to have a bagel sandwich, bro? They're fucking good. They're amazing. I went to this bagel stop or shop today because it's new and it's in my neighborhood, and I was like, I'll try it. And the bagels are good, but I was kind of thinking like I wouldn't mind like a little fucking like egg cheese, sriracha on this. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you so proud about like not doing one of the greatest iterations of your product in existence? Like I'm happy for you, but you're fucking like limiting yourself here, bro. Like, so I think bagel sandwiches are an incredible invention. One of our friends of the pod, Jimmy, is huge into bagel sandwiches. He actually makes a quite incredible one. So I'm just gonna go bagel sandwiches. They're fucking amazing, and I have no idea why anybody would be anti-bagel sandwich. I didn't realize that was a thing. So now, if someone's gonna bring out the pitchforks on the other side, I'll come right back with them on the sandwich side. So bagel sandwiches are my Himothy of the week.
Okay. Bagel sandwiches. All right. That's a very good one, Shane. Um, yeah, I don't really have one as always. I'm so ashamed that I don't have one. Maybe I'll just go with like my travel partner for the week, Scott. I'm about to go
Mm.
on a flight. I'm gonna have a buddy with me. Thank God he's pulling through on the trip with me. I'm going with my boy Scotty for Himothy of the week. He deserves some fucking love for the grinding he's been putting in.
Oh
I
yeah.
know Scotty listens to this podcast and he's been fucking grinding. We both get
Remember
a nice
the
break this weekend. Let's go.
Do you remember the podcast where I said send a frog if you're listening to this?
Yes.
Scotty sent me a frog.
Yes. And yeah, I actually ended up getting a frog from him as well at some point.
So Scotty, send me a
He's a
frog if
he's
you're
a he's
listening.
a real one.
I
He
know he
listens to every
is.
episode.
He's listening to this for sure.
He
So
deserves a Himothy at this point, you know?
he does, but I do hope Bagel Sandwiches wins over him for this time. And then yeah, you two are getting matching tattoos, so you two can cry about it
We're
together.
not getting matching. Oh my
Right,
God.
right, right.
All right, well, that's about all we got for you guys today. Um, check out the YouTube at some point in the next week because I am going to New York and I'll be seeing Flame live in the flesh, and we're gonna, do some content. I'm not exactly sure what the content is gonna be, but there's gonna be some extra content outside of the podcast, outside of the shorts that you guys can expect in the next week or so. So look forward to that. Anything else from you, Flame?
Um, I just gotta say a big thank you to all the emailers. I know that we haven't been prudent about getting to all of them in a timely fashion, but we do appreciate them all. Some of them got stuck in the spam folder. Gmail playing tricks on us. We've had guests, we've had things going on, so we still appreciate you endlessly and keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's much needed to say. The emails are a very important part of this podcast. And yeah, send them in, guys. Flamesidepod@gmail.com. It should be on the screen for you guys. But
I love the little thing you do with your hand every time you read it. You do the same thing.
do I really?
Flameside
Wow.
pot. I don't
It's
know what
start,
you're doing down there either. Yeah, you're
start
doing that.
it's starting to become what is it? What am I
This
looking
is how you
for?
blow up, bro. This is how you blow up. You have repeatable things that your fans can.
Muscle memory, that's what I'm looking for. It's
Yeah,
just my
yeah, yeah.
muscle memory kicking in these days. But
That's
yeah,
good.
email us, guys. Thanks for tuning in to week 8. Peace.